There is always a certain calm before the next challenge, and that is exactly the feeling surrounding Celtic right now as the team edges closer to another important weekend fixture. With the next match set for Saturday, this brief pause in the schedule offers a rare chance to step back from the constant rush of results and headlines, and really take a deeper look at where the squad stands as a whole. Moments like this are perfect for reflection, especially when expectations remain as high as ever and every decision made now could shape what comes next. Instead of focusing purely on the usual match previews or post-game reactions, it feels like the right time to look at the bigger picture. The squad has evolved over the past year, and with that evolution comes questions. Who truly fits into the future plans? Who might be reaching the end of their journey at the club? And who still has something to prove? This kind of evaluation always brings strong opinions, because supporters see things differently depending on performances, consistency, and even potential. Looking back at how things felt around this time last year, there was a completely different mood. Confidence was high, the team looked stable, and there was a sense that most of the squad could be trusted moving forward. It almost felt like the biggest concern was how many trophies could be secured rather than whether changes were needed. Fast forward to now, and while there is still quality in the squad, there is also a feeling that decisions cannot be delayed much longer. The goalkeeping situation is one of the clearest areas where change seems inevitable. With uncertainty surrounding the current number one role, attention naturally shifts to who will take that responsibility going forward. There is a strong argument for giving the opportunity to a goalkeeper who has already shown glimpses of reliability. Even without complete certainty, sometimes a player needs that vote of confidence to truly establish themselves. Of course, any managerial change could completely reshape that decision, as new leadership often brings new preferences, especially in such a crucial position. Defensively, there are a few pillars that still look solid despite the ups and downs of the season. Injuries have played a significant role in disrupting consistency, but when fully fit, certain players still stand out as dependable and experienced. The challenge, however, is not just maintaining what already exists, but raising the overall level. There is a growing sense that while some defenders are steady, the team may still be missing that commanding presence who can elevate the entire backline and bring a new level of assurance in high-pressure matches. At full back, there is a mix of stability and uncertainty. On one side, there is a player who has proven his value and seems comfortable at the club, offering both defensive solidity and attacking support. Yet even there, external factors like international tournaments could influence the future. A strong performance on a global stage can quickly attract attention, and that always brings the risk of losing key players at moments when continuity is needed most. On the opposite flank and in supporting roles, the situation becomes more complex. Some players have stepped in and performed admirably when called upon, showing that there is depth within the squad. However, depth alone is not enough if the ambition is to progress. There needs to be clarity about whether these players are long-term solutions or simply short-term options filling gaps. Moving into midfield, the conversation becomes even more intense. There are players who have carried a huge workload, consistently delivering and rarely missing a minute. While that level of commitment is admirable, it also raises concerns about sustainability. No player can maintain peak performance indefinitely without proper rotation, and managing minutes becomes essential if the team wants to avoid burnout at crucial stages of the season. Alongside those experienced figures, there are others who still feel like they are searching for their true impact. Injuries, inconsistency, and tactical adjustments have all played a part, making it difficult to fully assess their contribution. Yet there is still a belief that some of these players could become key figures if everything aligns, especially with the right system and support around them. At the same time, there are individuals whose time at the club seems to be approaching its natural conclusion. Football moves quickly, and holding on to players beyond the right moment can sometimes slow down progress. There is a balance to be found between loyalty and evolution, and getting that balance right is often what separates successful transitions from difficult ones. In attack, the discussion becomes even more nuanced. Goals have been scored, moments of quality have appeared, but questions remain about overall fit within a faster, more dynamic system. Some forwards bring a clinical edge, popping up in key moments, yet may lack other attributes that are becoming increasingly important in the modern game. Deciding whether to build around that type of player or move towards a different profile is not a simple choice, and it reflects the broader identity the team wants to develop. All of this creates a fascinating picture of a squad at a crossroads. There is still a strong foundation, but also clear areas where improvement is needed. The coming months will likely bring significant decisions, and each one will shape not only the immediate future, but the long-term direction as well. As the focus shifts deeper into the squad, the conversation naturally turns toward the attacking options and the wider roles within the team, where the contrast in styles and output becomes even more apparent. There are players who have delivered in terms of goals, stepping up in key moments and providing that cutting edge when it has been needed most. Yet, even with those contributions, there is still an ongoing debate about whether their overall game aligns with the tempo and intensity that the team is trying to build toward. Modern attacking play demands more than just finishing. It requires movement, pressing, link-up play, and a constant sense of urgency, and not every player ticks all of those boxes consistently. That is where the real dilemma lies. Do you prioritize the player who can produce decisive moments, even if their all-round contribution is sometimes lacking? Or do you look ahead and bring in someone who better fits a high-energy system, but may not yet have proven their ability to deliver in front of goal? It is a question that does not have a simple answer, and it is one that will likely define how the attacking line evolves heading into next season. Out wide, there are signs of promise mixed with a need for further development. Some players have shown flashes of real quality, especially when given space to run at defenders and create opportunities. There has been noticeable improvement over time, particularly from those who have gradually adapted to the demands of the team. However, consistency remains the key issue. Being able to influence matches week after week is what separates a useful squad option from a guaranteed starter, and that step has not yet been fully taken by everyone. There is also the presence of individuals who bring something slightly different, players who may not always dominate the headlines, but contribute in subtle yet important ways. Their work off the ball, their ability to stretch play, or even just their willingness to take responsibility in difficult moments can make a significant difference over the course of a season. These are often the players who become more valuable when the team as a whole improves, as their qualities begin to shine in a stronger collective structure. At the same time, there are cases where it feels like the right moment to move on has arrived. Some players have had opportunities to establish themselves, but have not quite managed to secure a consistent role. Whether due to competition, injuries, or simply not fitting the system, their path forward at the club looks increasingly uncertain. In those situations, a fresh start elsewhere can sometimes be the best outcome for all parties involved. Another important aspect to consider is how quickly things can change in football. A year can completely reshape the narrative around a player. Someone who seemed on the fringes can suddenly become a key figure, while others who were once central to the team can find themselves struggling for minutes. That unpredictability makes these evaluations both intriguing and challenging, because every decision carries a degree of risk. The influence of a potential managerial change cannot be overlooked either. A new voice in the dressing room often brings a new philosophy, and that can dramatically alter how certain players are viewed. Someone who fits perfectly into one system may find themselves out of place in another, while others might thrive under a different approach. This uncertainty adds another layer to the decision-making process, as planning for the future becomes less straightforward. There is also the broader question of ambition and progression. Maintaining the current level may not be enough if the aim is to compete more strongly on bigger stages. That means identifying not only who can stay, but who can actively raise the standard of the team. Recruitment becomes crucial in this regard, especially in key positions where even a small upgrade can have a significant impact on overall performance. Balancing experience with youth is another factor that cannot be ignored. Established players bring leadership and reliability, qualities that are essential during difficult periods. At the same time, younger players offer energy, hunger, and the potential for growth. Finding the right mix between those elements is often what defines a successful squad, and getting that balance wrong can lead to either stagnation or instability. As things stand, the squad feels like it is in a transitional phase. There are still strong pieces in place, players who can form the backbone of a competitive side, but there is also a clear need for refinement. Some positions require strengthening, others demand better depth, and a few may need a complete rethink depending on how the team wants to evolve tactically. All of this makes the upcoming period incredibly important. Every performance from now until the end of the season carries added weight, not just in terms of results, but in shaping perceptions. Players are effectively making their case, showing whether they deserve to be part of what comes next or whether their time is coming to an end. And as those decisions begin to take shape, the picture of next season's squad will slowly start to become clearer, piece by piece, as the club looks to move forward with purpose and clarity. And within that context, even the smaller details begin to matter more than ever. The way players respond in tight matches, their attitude when coming off the bench, and even how they handle difficult periods without consistent minutes all contribute to the bigger evaluation. It is no longer just about talent, but about mentality, resilience, and the ability to adapt when circumstances are not ideal. There is also a growing expectation from the supporters to see a clearer identity on the pitch, not just in terms of results, but in how the team performs, how quickly it moves the ball, how aggressively it presses, and how confident it looks in possession. That identity is shaped by the players who remain and the ones who come in, which makes every decision during this phase even more significant. You can sense that this is not just about small adjustments, but about setting a tone for the next chapter. The foundation is there, but the structure still needs refining, and that requires bold calls in certain areas. Some decisions will be straightforward, others far more controversial, but all of them will play a role in defining how competitive and cohesive this team can be moving forward. And as the next match approaches, there is that underlying feeling that what happens on the pitch is now closely tied to what comes after it, with every performance adding another layer to the ongoing assessment of who truly belongs in the future of this squad and who might be preparing for a different path as the club continues to evolve. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. There is a growing sense of unease swirling around Street MIRREN as whispers from inside the camp begin to paint a troubling picture ahead of their looming clash with Celtic. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the latest murmurs suggest that events behind the scenes may have tilted the balance ever so slightly in favor of the Glasgow Giants. Reports filtering through Paisley hint at disruption within the Street MIRREN setup, with talk of key figures dealing with late fitness concerns and uncertainty over selection. Sources close to the club describe a dressing room that, while still determined, is grappling with last-minute complications that could prove costly against opposition of Celtic's caliber. The timing could scarcely be worse. Meanwhile, there is a contrasting air of quiet confidence emanating from Celtic circles. Insiders suggest that preparations have gone smoothly, with the squad appearing settled and focused. There is even speculation that a late boost, whether tactical or personnel-related, has further strengthened their hand, though details remain tightly guarded. For St. Mirren, the psychological aspect cannot be ignored. Facing a side as relentless as Celtic is challenge enough, but doing so amid internal doubt only sharpens the pressure. Some observers believe the rumored setbacks may force a reshuffle that disrupts their usual rhythm, potentially opening spaces Celtic are more than capable of exploiting. Still, football has a habit of defying expectation. Those within Street MIRREN insist there is resilience in the squad, and that adversity may yet galvanize rather than weaken their resolve. Yet, as speculation continues to mount, the narrative building around this encounter is clear. Celtic appear to have been handed an unexpected edge before a ball has even been kicked. Whether that perceived advantage materializes on the pitch remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, the tension surrounding this fixture has only intensified. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.